Jenny from CraftTestimonies.com, and today I'm here to share with you the new craft mat by Imagine Crafts. This is a pretty big size mat. It's 15 inches by 18 inches, and you might not be able to see it on camera, but it is almost 1/8 of an inch thick. It's pretty thick, and it's actually kind of stretchy, like a rubberized texture, which is kind of nice because when you put it down on your surface, it kind of grabs and it won't be sliding around like those thinner siliconized craft mats, you know, the ones that are kind of shiny. This one is really going to kind of grip your surface. So it's a great surface for some things, but not so much for others. So I'll be right back to show you what. So this is how my craft mat really looks. Really used, really beat up. And the Imagine Crafts mat has taken a lot of guff from me this past week. First of all, I want to let you know that this is, not a cutting surface. I went ahead and just put some little stripes in here with my craft knife, and as you can see, it actually just kind of makes it shred. So this will not replace your regular cutting surface. It's really just a crafting surface. I found it to be really useful for things like mod melts and hot glue. I went ahead and I put some hot glue directly on the surface of the mat and kind of squoze it out and then let it dry, and I was able to peel up the mod melts and the hot glue right off of it and use them as embellishments when I was done. So that's kind of nice. By the way, this surface is good up to 395 degrees Fahrenheit, so you can also emboss on it. I would also recommend, if you're going to emboss, be aware that it will cause the surface to bubble up, kind of like this right here. But once it is cooled back down, it will level back out. So you can also do the same mod melts technique with things like Viva Decor paint pens or your little pearly pens. And what I did was create some little dots. They might be hard to see because they're teeny. But I just put them right on the craft mat, stepped away, let them dry, and then when they were done, I was able to just peel them right off and use them as three-dimensional embellishments on my other projects. I actually made this a little card, this little tag, with the word love and those three embellishments on it in that fashion. So I also did some stamping. It says it has a little bit of give to it. It's good for getting nice clean images. So I did some stamping and I found that to work pretty well. Again, it's nice because it kind of grips the paper and it won't slide around too much. If you're going to do things like using glitter though on this mat, you might want to treat it with an anti-static pad or a dryer sheet or even baby powder first, because it will keep it from kind of sticking to this rubberized type of surface. Of course, then every time you go to clean your mat, you're going to have to retreat it with that same static so that it doesn't hold on to every little bit of glitter, which is kind of what you can see down here a little bit. So let's talk about what's on the mat right now. I actually used some Krylon glitter spray paint, and as you can see, it's just peeling right off of this surface. So the good news is that if you have to spray paint something, it's gonna do well. The bad news is it did warp the mat a little bit, and I don't know if this is gonna go back down. This may be just a chemical reaction that we can't work around. So maybe not to use it for your spray paint stuff. I did use it with some spray mists and glitter glues, and this is actually a StazOn. And what I have found is that for the most part, this is just a baby wipe. A baby wipe will clean most of it up. You see, even here with the StazOn, I'm able to get a lot of it off just with a little bit of elbow grease. And then I've been using my Remove Cleaner from Helmar, which I reviewed earlier. It's also pretty good stuff, and it will help take off a lot more of the residues as well and kind of give you that nice clean orange smell. So I find though that I don't need my craft mat to be 100% clean and tidy because, you know, I just get it messy all over again. But there are some fun techniques that you can do with this mat too, and I'm going to show you a couple right now. I think that's probably clean enough that it won't pollute what I'm going to do. So here's a little demonstration. You can take your markers, these are the ones that I just reviewed from Letraset, and I'm scribbling right on the mat. And because it's a rubberized surface, it won't really dry. It'll sit there for a minute. I'm just going to add a couple of different colors. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water to get it nice and juicy. Doot, 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 doot. Like the sound effects? I do. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drag a piece of glossy cardstock in it and kind of let that soak in. And then, ta-da, you get kind of that fun watercolory background. And you can continue playing with it, adding a little bit of water on the piece itself if you like that drippy effect, which I do. As a matter of fact, I like it so much, I use it as the background for this card. So that's fun. And of course, because it's still sitting there, I can go ahead and get a couple of different prints, if you will, out of it. So that's kind of a fun thing. I like that. I don't like to waste any of that pretty color. Ooh, pretty color. Okay. So the other thing you can do, as I just use my baby wipe to kind of wipe that up, you can also use this as a blending surface for your Copics. You can put, again, put a little bit of color down, and then use your blender pen to pick up just what you need and kind of blend it out on the surface. So it's kind of nice. You have a little built-in palette right there, you know, on your work surface. And again, when you're done with it, let me cap my pen. There we go. You just wipe it up and you're kind of ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take a minute and try and get this as clean as I can, and I will come back and show you how it looks. Ta-da! All nice and clean. Now you'll still see a little bit of staining here, but I assure you it's clean, and if I went ahead and put down some more spray mists or something, it wouldn't pick any of that back up. Most of the cleaning I did were with my super cheap, fabulous baby wipes from Costco, and also this is a little mister bottle that I keep full of alcohol. This is just rubbing alcohol. That I keep at my work table. So nice and clean. Also, you'll notice this area here that was bubbly before really has returned almost completely back to normal. This is where I had sprayed that Krylon spray paint. So I think it's kind of ready to be put back into use. And you know, if you have a clean craft mat, people, you're not doing it right. So get messy, have fun, and do it on the Imagine Crafts craft mat, because it'll keep, you know, everything underneath nice and clean. Thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you found it to be a helpful video. Also, please visit us on Facebook. I have a lot of behind the scenes conversations and photos that I share on Facebook that don't make it to YouTube. And also make sure you visit the full review on crafttestdummies.com. Thanks so much, friends, and have a crafty day.